Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. First, on Pitt Sports Zone, Shaw University softball coach Cooper shares insights on the upcoming season. Next, on Flip the Script, catch the last part of Jade Courtland's takes on the hottest topics in sports. On Baltimore Ravens Rundown, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from the Week 4 loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. Lastly, we catch up with Candi Waller on Coaching from the Couch for a recap of the Washington Commanders' Week 4 loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? You know what it is. It's your boy Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live, CIAA HBCU softball today. This isn't the first time you've seen them. Last time you've seen them, we was all down Spartanburg, South Carolina, before the CIAA CX softball tournament. But here today, they are right here live with us. Y'all know what it is. Shaw University Bears. What's going on, ladies?
Hey.
Listen. Y'all go ahead, take us away.
We are the Lady Bears softball team.
Coach Reginald Cooper, Shaw University head softball coach of the Lady Shaw, the Bears. Coach, listen, one thing I wanted to do, because again, I want to kind of pivot, right? Because you did something that was different that I've never done. And I really want you to elaborate to the world, you know, IG, Facebook, Instagram, Comcast. When we met, instead of you and I sitting down one-on-one, you elected to do it as an entire team. Can you share your thoughts, your reasons on that?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great group of girls last year, and it wasn't fair for us to single out two young ladies because this is not an individual sport. We try to do it different here at Shaw University in the sense that we're like-minded. If one can talk, all can talk. We're trying to change the culture of not only how people see black college softball, but how people are seeing Shaw University. And it just don't stop. You know, you just don't do it. We can't do it that way, Pitts. It's unfair to these young ladies that we're asking to get up at 5:45 every morning to bust their butt to make Shaw University softball better, and then don't allow them to be able to say, hey, we're better because of X, Y, Z. So we'll never do an interview where it's, you know, just me and two others, because I feel as a coach that if I surround myself with the right coaching staff, the right players, that anybody can talk about this program and hold them in high esteem.
Absolutely. And ladies, and in any order you wish to choose and take this, can you talk about what does that mean to you as a player, knowing that regardless of the sentiment or regardless of the reason being, that your coach definitely makes sure that it's not one voice heard, that it's an entire collective? How does that make you feel as a player?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you go ahead and take it off mute. Anytime you can take it off mute.
Okay, there we go. I think it's very big that we can not be seen individually, but as one unit, as one group, as one program, and no one gets that one camera on them. We get the camera on everybody. We get the coverage on everybody, so that we can all produce and have something to fight for.
How does that make you feel personally?
I honestly feel a little bit more grateful that we don't have to feel like by ourselves when we come to these interviews. We can go into the interviews more confident because we have our teammates with us. So that's how it is for me. I can have my teammates by my side.
Any other ladies want to jump in? And if you want, you could just raise the hand to which group, and I can unmute it for you. Okay. Unmute mic. Okay, so technical acts like it doesn't want to work for me then. Okay. Okay, I can hear you. Did we lose one?
Iona, answer that question.
I think, like Sahaya said, it gives us the atmosphere to be comfortable and know that we're not in this alone, and that we have each other's backs and will forever be each other's support systems. Because not only when we come into these interviews is it a support system, it's a lifelong support system that we're going to have outside of softball and school. It'll be a family that we've grown together to have each other's backs, that we'll walk away with for the rest of our lives.
Okay, and I apologize, Lily and Jordan. I know I couldn't unmute it. I don't know what technical is not working on my end, but I did know you wanted to share. So I definitely want to come back to you at some point to get your thoughts. And this is a universal question as well for the team. Can you share any insights on your team's training and how it's evolved since last season?
Crystal Walker.
Can you repeat that question for me, please?
Can you share any insight, on the team's training and how you guys going from last season going into the fall season? How has it evolved?
Our program has evolved by adding additional individuals that are ready to put in the work to make the program greater. I think this fall semester, something that we're trying to key on is the little things. The little things are going to bring you to the best result and the greatest success. So that's our little insight for now as far as what has changed within the program is adding the individuals that we needed, but also focusing on the little things that are going to take us to the next level.
All right. Anyone else want to tackle that one?
So, how's the training been for you?
Okay, the training has been pretty good. It's hard at times, but yeah. But we get it together. That's all I got.
Okay, here's something I have that each of you will be able to answer. Should be able to answer. I'll say that. Should be able to answer. Going from last season, right? What are some things that you ladies have done in the off season to strengthen your game individually? What are some things that you focused or worked on more in the off season going into this season?
For me, a lot of it was just getting healthy and then getting my mind right. I think over the summer, like me and my dad, that's all we would do. We would just work like the pitches that I struggled with last year. That's all I would work on in the summer. I felt like I could have been faster, and then that's something else I worked on in the summer. And it really helped coming in here because it's like you kind of got a head start. And then, yeah, the weights, of course, all the workouts. Yeah.
Okay, Sylvia, I know you had your hand raised.
Oops.
You said Sylvia, but it's Haya.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay. So the difference between last year and this year, I think it's our mental. Last year we had a lot of like outliers in our team. We had a few outliers in that with their mentality, they allowed for themselves to slack off. And coming into this year, we're able to keep each other accountable, focus on, again, like Coach Crystal said, the little things. But not only that, but just make sure that we're mentally tougher. We're getting the workouts in. We're getting through the hard days, the long hours. We're getting through that. And that's all through mental and physical strength.
Okay. Anyone else want to jump in? All right. Coach, let me ask you this question. How is the team preparing for the upcoming season, for the upcoming fall season, and what are your main goals that you've set so far?
So In preparing for the fall season, we play D1 competition, and that's just like a measuring stick for us. If we can do some good things against D1 opponents and high JUCO opponents that we play, we think we'll be okay for the spring season coming up. A lot of softball has to do with believing you can get the job done,
Yeah.
right? We're asking young ladies to go out and hear the message that we're trying to preach and let them know that we believe in them and their abilities to get the job done, but we can't be, as coaches, we can't be the only one believing that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because as I've always said, and I think I even said this to you, Pitt, coaches don't ever catch a ball, throw a ball, hit a ball. You know what I'm saying? They just put nine out there to hope that they'll make a couple of plays for them to get us through. Now, last year when we had this conversation with the team, um, it was a team that we had some really good players on it, and they chose to do other things. This year we brought in another group. We were at 24, 20, 24, and I think this group is just as good as the team from last year or better. We went out and hunted for some of the best hitters to back up our power hitter that we already had. We went across country and brought five freshmen in that were standouts at pitching, at third base, at in the outfield, middles that could probably play anywhere they want to. These kids that we're bringing in, that Shaw Universities get now, were kids that could go anywhere they wanted to, and they chose us because of the message that we were preaching. So I will tell you that have we had some growing pains? Yes. But I am proud of the group that not only the team that we put together, but we've added coaches. We have Coach Marty, we have Coach Sidney, who was a standout at North Carolina Central, Crystal Walker, who played here at real high level for us. So we're doing all the little things that we see other teams doing, you know, to try to be a better program, because that's key. If we get one step better every day, people are going to start seeing Shaw a little different. You saw the vibe that we had when we beat Tuskegee. Nobody
Yeah.
expected us to beat Tuskegee last year,
Yeah.
but the mentality that we brought, that was the mentality that we fed off last year. Any nine, any time. We still believe that. You know, I I tell people all the time, Pitch, we want to be in 2 to 3 years, we want to be considered the Oklahoma of D2 softball, where people are begging to come here and play softball because we're
Absolutely.
trying to do it the right way. Do we
Absolutely.
always get it right? No, we don't. But we're willing to, and I will say this: we got a great group of girls where when we're not getting it right, we can kind of talk to them. We getting better at being able to have a conversation with them, and they see what we're trying to do. That's going to always be a work in progress when you're bringing a group together for the first time, trying to accomplish a common goal. We got kids from all over. We got kids from South Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, uh, Georgia. We have kids that are from California. So we're a talented group. We didn't go out and say we're just gonna pick up girls just to pick up girls. We got. I think we got one. Let me rephrase that. I think we have three of the most prolific power hitters that people are going to be talking about for a long time. And
Yeah.
Cynthia Dobbins and Christina and Iona Davis. We're going to be really good when this season start. It's not going to be it's just show anymore. It's going to be, do anybody really want to play us, because we're doing it the right way. And have we had some bumps in the road? Yes. But in those bumps in the road, there's always a lesson in those bumps in the road.
Absolutely. And coach, if you can, your thumb is kind of
My bad.
blocking. No, you're good. But to his point, right? A couple points. First and foremost, there is no progress without restraint, right? So we don't move forward, and we can't grow if we don't experience the challenges, the pitfalls, and the downfalls. Those are what builds the character, the discipline, and everything else. And everybody definitely goes through them. One thing Coach said, when you talk about in the fall and you're playing D1 teams, the notion is, and as you see my air quotes, right? The notion is because it's D1 is better, they're more athletic. I don't believe that. I believe that if you gave D2 schools the same amount of scholarships and facilities as D1s, it'd be a totally different conversation. But with that being said, when you ladies play against D1 teams, right? Because that's an iron sharpening iron. Those are teams that you're really not supposed to be on the field with. What is it that transcends you, or how did you carry that over into the season? The mindset that regardless of who you play from a D1 school, how do you carry that mindset over as you go into D2 and CIAA play?
So I know coming from like a JUCO and coming here, I was expecting a difference in the competition. And so playing the D1, it's definitely an eye opener. It changes your perspective of what you thought you were going to experience versus what you could experience. It really
Okay.
changes your perspective.
Okay. And I can definitely see that. Anybody else want to jump in?
For me, playing D1 is just another day of competing. Like before we played or before we go play a game, like we'll say what we think we should do. And for me, it's just compete every pitch, battle every pitch, every inning. And yeah, it's just another day competing.
How do you ladies take that the same mental fortitude from playing D1 and transcend and translate that to when you guys start CIAA Roundup? Yes, ma'am.
So
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question again?
No, I was saying if you can just talk us through the mindset, right, of going from fall ball playing against D1, right? You're getting ready, you start preparing for spring ball. What are some things that you can do to, take some of the lessons learned, the growing pains from fall ball, and merge it and strengthen it and build it going into spring?
I really think it's just about applying yourself and being committed and really just wanting to be out there and wanting to do the best for your team. The things that we work on fall really are going to set the tone for what we do in spring. So I'm excited to see what we have to bring this year.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. You go ahead. Yes. Yep. You go.
So coming from the fall into the spring, I think that playing these D1 schools allows us to mentally prepare from, like, in the fall, we're able to see the things that we wouldn't normally see until after we get past conference. So that kind of prepares us to, like, for regionals and things like that. And then once we get into actual conference play and like the playoffs and everything, I think that because we've played these schools in the fall and our off season, we're able to go in with a high head, like, well, we just played this team, like this is nothing. Like, it allows us to have more confidence going into the game mentally.
And with that, before you log off, with that, right? Coach says any night, anytime. I love that slogan, right? And then also, he did mention to me before, he said coaches don't hit, they don't pitch, they don't field the ball. Can you share from a player amongst your other teammates, what are some things that you ladies can do to kind of help sharpen each other mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? Because when it come to baseball, or softball, I'm sorry, when it comes to softball, say you're not having a good day at the plate, but you're killing it in the field, right? Talk about the coaching up and the encouragement from your other teammates. Talk about the experience of what that. How does that teamwork, that team camaraderie play in the building of the continuity that you guys can develop within each other, also while playing these D1 schools?
Mm-hmm. So we focus a lot on making sure we have our energy up. We always talk about energy, and we always talk about our mental game, because those are the two biggest key components to playing and being successful while playing. And I think that when we all pick each other up and we're there for each other on and off the field, we're able to, once again, create memories and just do something different that Shaw hasn't seen before. I think that this new team and the girls that we brought in and combining with who we had before, I think we can be most successful doing this because of that.
You know, your opponent's skin. Like, I ain't gonna tell y'all some of the things I used to say or have said, but it's a different situation when it comes in a loss, right? I think Michael Jordan said it best. Y'all go watch The Last Dance, and he said the telltale signs of a man is if you can talk crap when it's 0, right? Not when you up, not when you're down, but when that score 0-0. Yeah, that's all, right? And it's when you're when it comes across like a sore loser, and then you also go and you attack somebody's character. Like, we all know as Black people, like, to call us uneducated is kind of crazy, right? Especially when I carried myself a certain way, I made it to a certain level. So, again, another young person I met, man, like, shout out to Taylor Townsend for
she can be real cute.
Not going where she could have gone with it. Gonna move on to this next topic, man. Where trash talk is I think is invited, right? It's been happening for a couple of months now. And
before we continue, I'm also a former athlete. My husband doesn't believe that trivia is a sport, but I compete, and it's a sport. I competed, okay, and there was a lot of trash talk, but it would just be yelling at each other from across, doing cheers and stuff.
Yeah,
so we wasn't what again.
Y'all wasn't gonna come on blows.
You know, I went to McGarry High School, and Antioch High School was our rival, and they used to get, I used to be like, get me back here.
I was varsity guys.
Ooh, I scream.
What? Don't do that. We're not
fine. I'm on Metro National schools. Anyway, so while we're talking about the upcoming NFL season and what to expect. So we definitely have been tuned in to some of the preseason games. I was able to go to the Titans and the Vikings preseason game, and I had a jolly old good time. And I'm really excited to see what Cam Ward is going to continue to do because he has stepped up so much. I'm so proud that we chose him. He's a really stand-up guy, and I love the way they played. Of course, you know, the Titans is going to tighten. That's what I like to say. But we still came out with the win, so I have high hopes because we've been getting beat on these last couple years, and I'm hanging in there.
I mean, it's NFL season, all right? It's NFL regular season, so preseason. It's the preseason, right? It's for the guys that may or may
it's
not.
Like scrimmage.
Yeah, it's for the guys that may or may not make the roster. You're trying to impress coaches and other NFL teams. I think also, like she said, like Cameron, right? Which that's what we say is my name, Cameron, so call him Cameron. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. We good and we learn. I got great. So shout out to him. But I think Cameron Ward is gonna be fine. I think he's the bright spot for the team, and I think there's some other guys on this team, on that Titans team, that could do some great things this year, especially, you know, with a young team like that, you can really make the name for yourself. But some of the other teams, I think that want to step up. I think, honestly, I think the New York Giants have a better season.
You know what? Yeah.
Shout out to Jackson Dart.
I was so sad that Jackson Dart. I wasn't sad, but it would have been cool for him to come to the Titans because I definitely would have pitched myself as a personal photographer. Because he legitimately needed me and was like, hey, yeah, can I get that? Of course. So in my mind, we're been
still be his personal photographer.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with what you were. Yeah.
The Giants do look good though, and they have really good chemistry.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to be a better team this year, especially with Noah Carter. Some of the additions that they made. Let me see, man. I'm trying to think of the teams that really look. That could really like bounce back.
What you think about the Falcons?
I said this last year, and I was kind of poking the bear a little bit, but I'll say it again. there's going to be a lot of hype around Atlanta. If you think the Super Bowl, just don't sign yourself up for disappointment. I think that team is a little too young. I think they're still trying to figure it out, right? So I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to push the top of that division. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still a team to beat, though.
What do you think about the Lions or the 49ers?
Like it's the top of the NFC is pretty much the Philadelphia Eagles and everybody else.
Yeah.
So I mean, 49ers. The issue with the 49ers is, again, that they're a team with a bunch of young guys.
I was like to see the Commanders and the Ravens too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, sophomore slumps are a thing.
Yeah.
And then with the Ravens, Ravens fans gonna kill me, but I don't trust Lamar Jackson. Like it's every year, MVP caliber season, rushing record. This great performance here is a great performance here. He's near the top of the league. Someone says he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and then he meets up against, goes up against a Josh Allen or a Dover or Patrick Mahomes, and he forgets how to play football. And so, it's just one of them things where I gotta see him do it before I really put stock in the Ravens as a team, right? And you don't go as far as your quarterback goes, but. Tomorrow it's opening night. Philadelphia Eagles will be hoisting the banner.
They were playing the Cowboys.
I believe so.
Yeah, they're
first game.
Playing the Cowboys.
First game.
How do you think the Cowboys look? You think they ready? You think they
just traded away Michael Parsons? I don't think. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, I feel bad for you, son.
You think they're gonna get beat on?
I mean, they finna get stomped on the wall. But I mean, this could be one of them situations where it's addition by subtraction for them too, right? It's the NFL season. I never forget, it was a couple of years ago. Everybody thought the Chiefs were gonna the Detroit Lions were gonna come in. It was just gonna be this is a write-off game. Yeah. The Chiefs gonna come in. They finna hoist the banner. They gonna beat up on the lowly old Lions, and they gonna ride off into the sunset to week 2. And they went out there and got a handle. So it could be one of them situations where Jalen Hurts and them, and they see that banner up there, and they get a little too, full of the sauce.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
And but it's football.
I mean, it could.
It's football.
They may have all the intentions of.
Yeah, it's any given Sunday. So it's just one of them things, man. You just never know. There's no.
I really like the have the honor of being twice. And they're also humble and sweet and funny.
I'm root for them too. Until they beat the Titans one day, and and then I ain't gonna root for them. Let me not say that. I'm a loyal. I'm loyal. we don't root for other teams out there. But shout out to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to my guy AJ Brown. Still got love for you, dog. It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, so
we're still recovering, AJ.
Yeah,
we're still recovering.
Clearly, still ain't got nobody as good as you. But
all right.
But those are the main topics. So to end the show, right? Since this is the first episode, we kind of are doing a segment that's called flipping the script, right? I don't know what that finger means, but that's not it.
We're flipping the script. We're gonna play a little lighthearted game in this segment.
Yeah. So
Courtlandt, I just want to let y'all know how Courtlandt is the one came up with the theme of this game. It wasn't my idea at all. So if you love the game, great. If not,
you gotta deal with it because it's a part of this show. Flipping the script is basically where we take pop culture, where we truly mix pop culture and sports. And so with this, we're gonna take something maybe dealing with a movie, a new album, music, TV, and we're going to liken it to sports. Today's segment is going to be Marvel Zombies, right? Disney just announced they're releasing Marvel Zombies. If y'all don't know what that is, it's basically just Marvel characters that died and then they're bringing them back as zombies.
Are they bringing back T'Challa as a zombie? That's gonna trigger me.
Maybe not. I do know like Scarlet Witch, Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah, they'll be coming back as zombies. I think there's like the whole zombies comic book run as well, but it's gonna be a show in the same kind of animation art as What If. But how we're gonna spin it on today's show is we're gonna pick 2 athletes, whether they be dead and or retired, to bring back if we could and put them back into their respective genre of sport or sport and give a reason why we want to.
Okay, so who I would bring back would be Muhammad Ali. And I would bring back Muhammad Ali because I think he's super smart, he was super funny, he was super witty, and he'll talk about you to your face and have you laughing so hard you're not realizing that he's insulting you. And he was a man of few words. So outside of his 1-2 punchliners he would give in interviews and stuff, you didn't really hear much about him. And I feel like now in the boxing game, it's more of a money grab. Like, it's all about who could get the bag. Like, oh, like the opponent is the one that's gonna be doing all the talking. Like, yeah, I'm gonna slap you up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Knowing that they gonna lose. I mean, sometimes they win. Like, for example, when Logan Paul, who did he win a fight against?
He's trying Jake Paul, with Mike Tyson, but
yeah, that. It was a complete money. Like, it just wasn't real. It just seemed like it was for entertainment, but to me, it wasn't entertaining. And I would love to have seen Muhammad Ali in this day and age beating on all these boys that think that they are smart or witty or whatever.
And the talent in the heavyweight division, I think, is liking too. Like, I think with a guy like him, you saw the talent there, right? You saw the competitive nature. He wasn't afraid to fight a George Foreman or, Joe Louis. Not Joe Louis, but dang, that's that brain fart. But he wasn't afraid to fight whoever you put in front of him. And I would love to have seen like Muhammad Ali go against, Mike Tyson.
I know, that would be a good one.
Dejounte, what's his name? Bronze Bomber. I would love to see like those fights and kind of him raise that bar and kind of keep that bar high. So that's a dope guy to bring back for sure.
Of course it is, and I thought of that out by myself. So the next person I'll bring back is Michael Jordan, and that is so I can dead this conversation of, is Jordan better than LeBron James or is LeBron James better than Jordan? I would take both of them at their prime to play against each other once and for all, so we can see, even though statistically one is better than the other, but hey,
it's never gonna die. That's never gonna die. And I've been a big proponent of, when I do my top 10s, basketball players of all time, there's a GOAT tier, right? There's 3 names in it. I don't care who you put in that number 1 spot. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. It's all 3 of them have a conversation to be had about how great they were, right? I mean, neither one of them have less than 4 championships. None of them have less than, I believe, 4 MVPs. I mean, it's a crap ton of all-stars and all-NBAs between 3 of them. So it's just one of them conversations, like, I don't think it'd ever die, right? It's always going to be who was better, Mike or LeBron, and then eventually 20 years, 30 years from now, it'll be a new player that comes into that conversation. And I'm going to have to put my kids and my grandkids in a headlock and tell them, you don't know how great LeBron, Raymond James was.
We're not going to promote that. We're not be doing that.
Believe me, look, it's a
that's the people that I would bring back. So who would you bring back?
This is Karita Parts with Bowie TV at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We came into this game knowing that either the Ravens or the Chiefs would walk away 1-3. And it just so happens it's the Baltimore Ravens that walked away on the losing side of this battle with a 37-20 loss. This team has now entered a territory that is much different than last season, in my opinion. Yes, they started off slow, but to me, this is a deeper hole. In addition to that, there were several injuries throughout this game on defense. They lost Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and then on the offense, Ronnie Stanley went out, as well as Lamar Jackson, who left the game with a hamstring injury. Here's an update from Coach Harbaugh on Jackson's status.
No, I don't have any really updates on seriousness of injuries right now. There's nothing that looks like it's season-ending by any stretch for anybody, any of those guys. But we'll have to look at those injuries tomorrow and see what happens forward.
In addition to the injury to Jackson, this defense is still not putting up the type of performance that they want to. They still look disheveled and confused, and they were coming into this game with injuries on the defensive line already. Afterwards, Kyle Hamilton apologized to fans for the product that they're putting on the field. I also asked him the impact of losing Lamar Jackson and not knowing what his status is going forward.
Even when you lose Lamar, like, what's the impact of that and not knowing the extent of his injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big impact. And I know that Cooper is called on, and I think he did a good job, honestly. But, I mean, losing Lamar is losing Lamar. It's going to be tough for any team. Lamar Jackson to start a quarterback.
Offensively, this game did not start off bad. The Ravens drove down the field and scored, but an interception by Lamar Jackson, some delay of game penalties put this team into a hole. Once Cooper Rush came in, it was not that much time left in the game. And at that point, Justice Hill was able to get into the end zone and get the Ravens on the board with 20 points. After the game, I talked to Justice Hill about that slow start they had last season that has come into this season, and if the fact that they were able to turn it around last year gives them hope they can do the same now.
Justice, you alluded to it earlier, but the slow start last year and making the playoffs, do you go back to that as a team to know that you can possibly turn this around?
I mean, we know who we have and where we are, and one loss is not going to change that. We're just going to continue to build on what we know and execute when we need to execute. Like, honestly, that's all it really comes down to is our execution. Doesn't matter what play calls they call. Like, we just got to go out there and make them work. So just go back to the drawing board.
Even though this game was an ugly performance for the Ravens and they walked away with many injuries to contend with, they're still just taking it week by week. Derrick Henry said they look forward to playing Houston, which is the next game on the schedule.
I want to continue to get better, fix the mistakes, correct those mistakes, just be positive. I mean, it's easy to have the wide me's right now and finger point, but I don't think nobody wants to do that. I think everybody just wants to move past this one, get ready for Houston, and come back to work and get ready to go.
I think we've reached the point where the Ravens are going to have to do some soul searching, and they desperately need a win against Houston just to boost their morale and hopefully get some momentum going. This is Karita Parks. That's been your Ravens Rundown. Be sure to follow us for all your Ravens content at Bowie TV Sports, and you can also find us on Comcast in Prince George's County.
When a football get handled in all three phases, I feel like they coach better, they play better, everything's better. So that's it. That's a game in the National Football League, and we'll have to go back to work, figure out how to try to win our next football game. And we've got issues that we're dealing with, and we've got to deal with them in a real smart way and find out how to line up and play our best game against the Texans. That's going to be our task this week. And I know our guys will go to work. I know our coaches will go to work to do that, and that'll be our challenge. So any other questions or any other conversations about it are just going to be just that. We've got to get to work and get ready to play a football game, and play well, and try to find a way to win a game and get on track. I believe we're going to be a good football team. We're just not a good enough football team yet. All the things that go with that are the challenges that you face in the National Football League when you get circumstances that we've had. So that's what we're going to work on. What questions you have?
John, when was left
game with a hamstring injury. Do you know the seriousness of that?
No, I don't. I don't have any really updates on seriousness of injuries right now. There's nothing that looks like it's season ending by any stretch for anybody, any of those guys. But we'll have to look at those injuries tomorrow and see what happens.
Coach, I know you're not going to make excuses, but you're down 4 starters to begin with on the defensive side, lost 3 more. Just talk about the impact of losing that many starters.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, the challenges. I mean, those are the challenges that you do face from time to time. You know, it's tough. It's tough in a game like this against a really good team on the road, but you know, you got to try to find a way to win anyway. And we never make excuses for those kind of things. And the guys who are up there are going to play well, and we got to find ways to put our guys in the best positions to execute play after play and play a winning football game. That would be our challenge.
Could Lamar have come back in had it not been a 3-score deficit?
I really don't have the answer to that right
okay.
now.
Do you know what play the?
I don't have the answer for that now.
John, I mean, can you think of a time when you have been this adversely impacted by injuries in a single game?
You know, I haven't really thought about that. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that this is our circumstance right now. This is what we're going to have to deal with. You know, like I told the guys before, and I told the guys after the game, you know, I mean, I respect our guys. I respect our players. I respect our coaches. I know that we're going to go to work. And there's football to be played, you know, and there's a division to be won. You know, we've got to find a way to become good enough to win it, you know. So it's a long season, but short term, it's a challenge right now. Our focus is on the Houston Texans game. That's what we've got to get locked in for, really, and find a way to play the kind of football game that we're going to need to play to win.
First, I just want to apologize to the fans. Just the product that we're putting on the field right now is not up to par with what the Ravens have been in the past and have been recent past. And I think we know that. We're trying our best to correct it, but obviously something's wrong. So it's up to all of us to try to fix that. Also, I feel like earlier in the week I used poor choice of words, just saying that Ravens fans were spoiled. I retract that. I meant in a sense that Ravens fans have been accustomed to great defense, great teams. Haven't been a lot of teams in Ravens history since '96 to underachieve to the point where fans felt disappointed in the season as a whole. And I feel like as of right now, week 4, obviously, long way to go in this season, but you know, we're disappointed, and I'm sure the fans are disappointed too. So we got to get it fixed. We got to put a product and a team on the field that fans are proud to say they root for, proud to say they spend money on tickets to come to games and all that stuff and support us. So on a brighter note, I want to shout out to everybody who contributed today, specifically on the defensive side. Jade Courtlandt, I think it was his first game ever in the NFL, did a great job. Josh Tupou just signed here this week, was playing for us. Brent Urban got elevated, is playing for us. Mike Green's a rookie out there playing who knows how many snaps. Tavius Robinson's 3rd-year guy, but it seems like he's been here for 10 years. Jake Hummel, Teddy Buchanan, TJ Tampa, Malachi, Keon Martin, undrafted guy, makes the team, is out there playing 3/4 of the game against the 3-time Super Bowl champs in the past however many years. So shout out to those guys for what they did today, the whole game. Obviously it didn't go how we wanted it to, but I think that's kind of a silver lining to take from it. You know, it's a top down in the organization, guys just working hard. So we gotta get it fixed. We know that. We'll do it. Hopefully this week. But
you talk about the impact of the injuries on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're losing multiple All-Pro guys, and that's not gonna help a defense. But again, I think guys came in, had the right mindset. If you're out there, you're supposed to be out there, and you're in the NFL for a reason. So anybody's out there could make a play, could do their job to the best of their abilities, and just play hard, man. I think that's the price of entry, just playing hard. We'll deal with the result later, but obviously we want a better one. But if you can play hard, then you can play for it.
1-3. How disappointing is it that you guys right now are 1-3?
They're a better team. They were the better team today. We just got to go back to the drawing board, fix some mistakes, watch the film, make corrections, and look forward to Houston. But give them the credit.
Derek, what you kind of see out of Lamar, and was there any sign that he might you leaving the game in the third quarter? Was there a play where you saw him?
I can't speak for Lamar. You know, I don't know what happened. Hopefully get him back and pray for him.
Derek, for yourself, is it difficult to establish momentum in the game when the carry total is what it was?
I'm going to try to take advantage of opportunities. I don't try to get too caught up in that. Just make something happen when I'm out there with opportunity. Yeah.
How difficult is it, obviously, when you don't have someone of Lamar's stature or ability up there?
Everybody got prepared like a starter. Cooper went in there and did his job. And, you know, if Lamar can go, he can go. If not, Cooper will be up.
How concerned is it both sides of the ball? You have so many injuries. How concerning is that?
You know, the injury bug is real right now for us. You know, hopefully guys can get healthy and get back out there. Never want to see guys go down, but some of the other guys got to step up.
How big of a challenge is this now, being 1-3 in addition to having all those injuries?
Shit, bring it on. I look at it with a positive mindset. We run in 3. Ain't nobody going to come out and do it for us. We got to go back to work.
Derek, on that note, I mean, you've been the workhorse of offenses before. You know, depending on the severity of Lamar's injury, do you feel positioned as you could be like a big touch guy again?
I'm going to do whatever is asked. Whatever can help us win, I'm always down for it.
asked about the safety group last week. Check out his response.
Will Harris out, unfortunately, but you guys have a deep group back there. How do you kind of see it shaking out?
Yeah, first, I hate that Will, is out, but tough player, went back out there and played on it for another player too. So, Revo, we talked about Revo during training camp, not training camp, but even before then, during the spring. Man, he's deserved this time. And the thing that I said was, how do we pull him away from special teams? And that's going to be the challenge. And that's what we have to work at, because he is our special teams ace. But you saw the play he made on 3rd and 1, just diving in there. He's a physical guy. He's a guy that I do feel like can produce the ball. He's smart. He communicates well. So, his role would definitely pick up. T.O. will have to pick up his role. And now that we have Savage here, Jason Simmons had Savage in Green Bay. And I remember when he first got him, he called me. He's like, man, this dude is the smartest rookie I've ever had. And so when he got here a couple of days ago, we have our concept teaching that we put on our iPad. He was popping off our defense because he had gone through our film already. And so, or the concept tapes. So he's an extremely smart guy. And so hopefully he can grasp it soon, and so we can get him out there.
I want to go back to this comment here from James Roundtree, because to Candi's point, investments were made in the offseason in key areas that would have helped on Sunday, and these investments didn't see the field. That's wild. Well, it was actually 4, not to be petty, but I'm just going to say it's 4, because Tyler Owens is a safety, defensive snaps. Jordan McGee, Kane Madrano, these are 2 of your draft picks, 1 from last year, 1 from this year. Tyler Owens, Ali Cahoe, undrafted, but again, still very, very interesting. And if you look at the profile of each one of them, one of the things they're really known for is their speed. Let's go to another question. One is from John Keim. It was on the explosive plays, and another one was from myself. Let's get into Keim's question first. Again, still diving into Joe Witt's press conference from last week.
And then you talk about the explosive plays in the past game. Like, what is there a theme, and what are you doing to help cut down on those?
It's really not a theme from this last game. We just didn't do our damn job. Cover the guy and send the ball where we're supposed to send it. So every coverage that we have, there's rules to it, and we want to send the ball. So in certain coverages, if they catch the ball on the out route, nothing's going to be said because we have other coverages for that. If they catch the ball here or there, we have, but if you're not defending where it's supposed to be defended, it's going to be an issue. And so we just got the players and they have to do their job there. So, and I got to make sure they do it.
All right, let's get into it. Let's dive into it a bit more, because again, I'm talking a lot about scheme. If you're just tuning in, live Bowie television recording, I am your host, Candi Waller, on the daily beat of the Washington Commanders, reporting for Bowie TV. Now we got to do your job. All right, which could be true. Again, this goes back to the poor tackling, because there's just like no excuse for that. It was really bad, really, really bad. Okay. So we got a dual, it's a challenge when you talk coaching and scheming and those things, and then you get out there and then you don't actually execute. That becomes a challenge. All right. So couple things here. And they just didn't look good. They didn't look like they were ready for the moment. Every game is like a moment in my mind, and the schedule doesn't get any easier. I want to go back to something. I probably should have played this one first. The Commanders do mic'd up. All right, they do mic'd up. Anybody love button, fire emoji in the chat if you like watching the Commanders mic'd up or listening to it. Last year, wild card weekend playoffs, Bobby Wagner was mic'd up. So this clip that I'm getting ready to show is from his mic'd up video courtesy of the Washington Commanders. If you watch that mic'd up, do you all remember this from his mic'd up?
Likewise. They'll be jumping over the field goal. It's a receive.
100%. They wanted to receive. Yeah, all right. You know how disrespectful that is? Come on, bro. That's not fun, bro. That's fine. Early enough. Let's go. Bring it up first. Hey, 3-on-3. 1, 2, 3.
So who remembers that? If you watched it, you're like, and in the press box yesterday, I literally said, oh, the Falcons want to receive. And Bobby's mic'd up and he's like, oh, they want to receive 100%. It comes back. Do you know how disrespectful that is? So the Falcons wanted to receive. In the words of Bobby Wagner, do you know how disrespectful that is? They just told you what they think about you. So you can either take that shot like you got on a bulletproof vest, or you can take that shot like you just got hit because they just hit you and you're just going to keep letting them do it the whole entire game. I'm not saying those were fighting words, but what I am saying, if Bobby Wagner says things like that are disrespectful, then it is. And you should probably act accordingly for the next 60 minutes. Because clearly, that's what they're about to do. And that's the kind of time that they're on. And I see that someone remembers the video and says, apparently, Atlanta wanted to make a statement and they unfortunately made it successfully. Oh, yes, this was a game you had to watch your back. Absolutely watch your back. Now, let me move on to then my question last week to Coach Witt about the non-explosive plays. And I want to continue. You all feel free to comment in the chat and dive in a bit more about what you're hearing from the press conferences. And even let me know, are you hearing it differently now? Maybe you listened to it last week and it didn't resonate, or you kind of maybe missed that point or didn't think of it that way until after you've now watched the game and you reflect on the press conference and what's said. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, right. Or, okay, well, you knew. So what happened here? Here's my question on the night.